and welcome to AMS2 Hot Lap Car Reviews. And today we have something a little bit different. Some of you might recognise this Chevy Montana that's driving around the Brasilia racetrack, as this is in fact the first time ever that we have come back to the same car for an AMS2 Hot Lap Car Review. There's a little bit of a backstory as to why we're back with the Montana, but firstly I want to underline that by saying it is partly because of the strength of this car on its own. The last time we had the Chevy Montana out was around the amazing street circuit of Adelaide, a very, very different challenge to the one that lays in front of us here at Brasilia. But I felt this lap in particular was reason enough to bring the Montana back onto the channel. As I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, I participate in a team time trial event on a regular basis, and the Chevy Montana around Brasilia was one of the selected challenges for this month. This video will go up a couple of days after the final results of this month's TTT challenge go up in a few days' time. And whether I win or not with this particular lap, I will hands down say this is one of the finest laps I have ever driven around any track, in any sim, in any car. And it's for no other fact than the team time trial guys are pushing me to become a better driver all the time. And the Chevy Montana really is a forgiving and well-rounded car to learn the tricks of the trade to be able to improve your lap time and time again. Now, Brasilia is a circuit that I hadn't known or driven before the team time trial event, and from after I'd learnt it and posted my first proper lap times till this lap, we were looking at about a 5-second improvement all in all to get to where we are today. And as you can see, I am currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Fingers crossed it stays that way. The Autodromo Internazionale in Brasilia is a race circuit located in the city of Brasilia on the tropical savanna western regions of Brazil. Brasilia sits at a fairly high altitude of about 4,000 feet, which will impact on engine performance with the slightly thinner air, but it also has a fairly high average humidity and temperature throughout the year. One big noticeable difference if you're choosing to use real weather here is that there's a wet season through from November until March, and then you have a dry season during the rest of the year. So all in all, a very interesting circuit to look at geographically, but an even more exciting circuit to drive. So here we are coming along the home straight, heading towards Scavona. Scavona is a right-hander. Mid-speed, you're going to be looking at third or fourth gear depending on how you have it geared. It can be a little bit slippery, easy to run wide if you go in too hot, but you're really looking to maximize your exit speed, maximize your momentum through the corner, because this straight is very long and very fast, and if you were to mess up earlier, you're likely to lose about half a second on this straight alone. Coming into Moco, you are doing a very similar thing to the first corner, except you want a slightly later apex, and the runoff area is not so forgiving, and you can easily bump that wall if you get on the power a bit too soon or touch the inside curb. So flat out round this left-hander and into a corner that I'm not going to try to pronounce. Now this is a really tricky corner. There are many different lines. My preferred line is to brake late, run the car deep, get the car turned in and back on the throttle, and allowing the rear of the car's natural slip to push you around that tight kink at the end. Again, you're really looking to maximize your speed out of that corner, and you can gain about half a second if you get that exit correct out of that hairpin. Now we're coming around this flat out section. You want to try and get it up into fifth gear, but as soon as the car's straight, you are braking down here. Do not touch that inside curb. It's a second or third gear corner depending on your gearing, but if you touch that inside curb, you will be running well wide and will lose your lap. Now this next corner into Fittipaldi is very similar to the one we've just gone through. We're braking into second or third gear. Do not touch that curbing. It's slightly longer and it has a slippery exit. You run up onto those curbs, you will lose time almost straight away. Now flat out around this left-hander and we're heading into Ferradura. This is similar to the corner with no name, and it is a trail braking sweeping right-hander with a late apex kink, but it's got a quicker exit to it than you think, and it's easy to not get on that power early enough. but if you get on it too early, you will run wide into the grass. Now it's a flat out run up to the final corner. Just be careful not to scrub off too much speed around this right-hander, and you want to be braking fairly late into the final bend. You can take a late apex here. If you get it really perfect, you can keep it in 4th gear. But the golden rule again for Brasilia is do not touch the inside curves, or you will end up somewhere well into Brasilia's wilderness.